to make massive improvements to the show, and largely down to our sponsors. GBS are a family-run construction company in Ipswich operating nationwide with over 30 years experience offering fire protection, diamond drilling, commercial building, health and safety and asbestos removal. Starling and Lock, a self-employed electrician since 1989 offering domestic work and certificates for people buying and selling houses, an NIC EIC member. Matchday Marketing, sports marketing and branding company helping enhance the image and profile of grassroots and non-league clubs at a very low cost, utilising over 20 plus years in the game. Your Shirts offering eye-catching professional looking garments for your business, team, club or organisation with a range of printing methods to cover all individual needs. Clabber Creative are a creative agency based in Framlingham, Suffolk, offering fully managed football club websites. They're about giving your club a professional look and feel with ongoing support to maintain your site. Alpha Surveys providing topographical and measured building surveys throughout East Anglia. If you are in need of quality surveys for any home improvements, contact Alpha Surveys on Instagram. Links for all of these companies are in the description below. Go and check them out and tell them that DeeJam has sent you. Good evening, everybody. Hello and welcome along to another edition of the Suffolk Non-League Show. We are live once again across Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and of course, our main platform, YouTube. For all of those of you that are listening back to the show on your podcast platforms tomorrow morning onwards, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you happen to be listening. Welcome. It's another Monday night. We've got a lot to go through this evening. There has been so much breaking news, and I knew that this was going to happen on a week that my immune system has decided to completely shut down. So apologies for those of you who are listening to this thinking, who the hell's that talking? It's actually me. It's James. So hello to everybody else. Basically, the big voice you're going to be hearing, or the majority of the time tonight, is going to be from my colleague and good friend, Mr. Adam Wade, this evening. Adam, how are you feeling, mate? You doing well?
Excellent. I'm like a new driver that's been handed the keys to a Ferrari tonight, James. You're in for a night of utter hell.
I know. I'll literally just bring the graphics up and you can talk away, my friend.
I can say whatever I want without repercussion, really.
Yeah, if suddenly Adam's removed from screen, it's because you know he's gone too far with a comment. If you see me removed from screen, it's because I'm either blowing my nose or coughing my guts out. But there we go. It is what it is. It can't be helped. It's typical though, isn't it? I don't know if it happens to you guys as well. The moment you get any time off, the moment you get any sort of holiday, I'm meant to be on holiday this week and having some time off, your immune system just goes, oh, okay, so you don't need to concentrate? All right, okay, I'm going to switch off. And like everything has just attacked me, and I'm ill. It's typical. So
you just need some more half-time orange segments, to be honest, James.
Yeah, probably. So
get that vitamin C in you.
Yeah, something like. God, you sound like my mother. Jesus,
what's that? All the cod liver oil capsules, mate.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, it's we'll see how we go tonight. I'm looking forward to it still. As I said, there's a lot to cover. I do want to give my 2 cents on it, but we'll see how much I can get into it. But yeah, I can see loads of you already piling into tonight's show, which is fantastic. If you are, of course, watching this on YouTube, remember to give the video a big thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel. Naturally, if you're on Twitter watching this, give the video and the link a retweet. If you're on Facebook, share it onto other people's timelines so we can get the word spread around as much as possible. And naturally, as we always do at the beginning of the show, if you want to help support the show, support the channel, you can do so in a number of ways. The most popular at the moment is the merchandise. We have seen t-shirts, actually, weirdly enough. We're entering into like the autumn and winter periods, but weirdly, the t-shirts with the Suffolk Non-League Show, which is bright in the middle, are actually doing all right at the moment.
So yeah, if you fancy snagging yourself some Suffolk Non-League Show merch, link as always is in the description. You can of course make one-off donations either via Ko-fi.com, which is again linked in the description below. You can make a one-off payment towards us, or if you're watching from a YouTube perspective, you can make a super chat live donation on the show. That'd be much appreciated. Or you can join Patreon, which is a monthly membership towards the channel. We have 2 new patrons, which is Mark Peck and also Kelly Hayes. Your names will be added to the second sheet very shortly, but I just haven't had the time this week to be able to add your names onto it. But you will be included on next week's show and for all future videos coming up. So yeah, 2 new patrons. If you want to join those guys and help continue to grow the show, grow the channel, you can do so. Click on patreon.com/DeeJam and get involved. Adam, you're on mute, my friend. I don't know why, but we'll get you back on in just a few seconds. Let's get some of your
I just thought I'd be silent in the background whilst you were
struggle on.
Yeah, just don't be a mug, buy a mug, do your sales pitch.
Yeah, there we go. So let's get some of your messages up on the screen here. We've got Maverick who's in the building. Good evening, mate. Irv is here, as is Ben, as is Shem. Evening all, hope you're well. Another funny old week in local football. Boy, you can say that again. There's been some massive breaking news stories. We'll get to those in a few moments. Vinny's here. Evening, Vinny. Hopefully you're as vocal tonight as you have been on the latest videos. I've seen your comments, mate. Keep those coming in. Glenn is here. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Stu, Matchday Marketing, evening. We've got loads of new graphics to use on next week's live show. Thanks to this man. He's been absolutely smashing it with all of the stuff that we have on the live show. So really appreciate your efforts. Yeah, still loving the new intro. I was feeling a bit like tonight, and then that intro came on. I was like, give me a bit of a lift and a bit of a. Obviously, you did that as well, Adam. It wasn't just the intro, obviously. Matthew's here. Hello, Jason Adam. 80's in the building. Good evening, man. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. Good to have you here. Look forward to getting your comments, especially as we enter the SIL part of the show. Stephen's here. Evening, boys. Evening, mate. Hope you're doing good. Lee Specs, a recent new subscriber. Evening. Hope you're doing well. There he is. What's your thoughts on the stage interview? We'll get onto that in a moment. Adam Potter, evening. Oh, Paul's here, evening, as is Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Hope you're doing well. Ben, evening, both. Finally watching live for the first time in 3 weeks.
Welcome back.
Absolutely love that. Christ, there's so many of you in this evening. The numbers are just mad. Really appreciate that. Adam, you've got a lot to live up to, my friend, because it's all on you.
I think they all heard that I was going to be taking the reins somewhat, and more have turned out actually.
Yeah,
but who knows? We'll never know the truth.
That's it. So before we get into 3 breaking news stories from the SIL that have happened over the past week, we do have a small update to bring you from a story that we covered a few weeks back. You'll all remember it from the Ipswich Wanderers and the Brimstone game. There was the alleged incident of a racial comment made towards a Brimstone player from supposedly an Ipswich Wanderers fan on the sideline. So nobody on the pitch said the remark. It was supposedly somebody in the crowd. Now, there was a hearing that took place last week, and the 2 clubs have subsequently made a statement about the situation. So first of all, if we start off with the Brimstone statement.
Do you want me to read these through, James?
You can do, my friend. You can do, please.
Yeah,
please.
So words of Brimstone first then. So in regards to the racial abuse incident from Ipswich Wanderers game that was played last month, there was a personal hearing happened on Monday and it was not proven. We want to inform our disappointment of the decision and will release a full statement when we receive the reason of why the panel has not proven it. Update. In regards to the abandonment charge, this charge is not down to Brimstone. It has been charged to the chairman for requesting the players leave the pitch. And there has been no further update from them other than that. No full statement, nothing else. That's all we can bring you from Brimstone.
Yeah. Of course, Ipswich Wanderers obviously released their own statement. They've been quite vocal in the local papers, but here's what they had to say in their statement.
So, at a personal hearing earlier this week into the recent racial allegations made against our club, the independent FA's serious cases team cleared Ipswich Wanderers Football Club of the charge. The Brimstone charge relating to the abandonment was proven. We're awaiting the full written feedback from the panel that scrutinised the evidence, and we hope to provide a full club statement early next week. Thanks to everyone who gave their support. Racism has zero place in football. And I'd caveat that by saying Mike Bacon has had a nice piece written up about it today, which summarises it more as well. And Stephen got his face in the local paper website as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anything you want to kind of add on to that point? Obviously, look, we're still awaiting the full statements from both clubs. We're still kind of awaiting a written statement from the FA side of things, but yeah, not proven on that part.
Not proven, no. There's a comment from Vinny. I think it was a Brimstone fan that was accused. No, it was Ipswich Wanderers fan that was accused, just to clear things up and keep things tidy early on in this. I know that eventually when Stephen's at a point where we can talk more, he's going to come on and just speak about what the club has had to go through in order to clear its name of this, because it has not been an easy time for those over at Ipswich Wanderers, and they've faced real difficult times in sorting all of this out. So at the end of the day, the result was over to the FA panel. I am aware that it is in the hands of the league in terms of what is going to happen to the game. As many of you will know, Brimstone were 7-0 down to Ipswich Wanderers at the time of the abandonment. But no formal decision, from as far as I've been notified, has yet been made as to what will happen with the game. But it's looking like it may end up being replayed. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of a watch this space.
Brimstone today have also appointed a new manager. Just something else to chuck in there whilst we're on Brimstone.
Yeah, I did say that.
New manager appointed there, so...
Yeah, Mars Collington. There we go. So yeah, that announcement was made earlier on as well. That was actually made earlier on today. But yeah, so that's the latest that we have on it. Again, really, we can't comment until we've had the full official statement properly to say what is going on. But that's a kind of the latest. What minute was the game abandoned? I think it was quite late in the game, wasn't it? I think it was
around 60 minutes or so, I believe.
Right.
Stephen, if you're in and can just bang a number into the chat, that might help with that point. But yeah, it was into the second half, 50th minute. Cheers, Bucks.
Yeah,
there we go. Fine. I'm 10 minutes out. So yeah, just after the half time. But obviously, there's still things to unpick with it. Especially regarding what happens to the fixture and how both teams want to formally respond. So this won't be the last of it, because both teams will want their formal response. And I think Ipswich Wanderers have really had a lot of work on their plate and a lot of sleepless nights proving their case. And I think it will be a good thing to broadcast when that comes out, so that we know where things lie. Yeah,
definitely. So when we can bring you more, we will bring you more. But yeah, as Stephen's put on in here, this is the end of it. Time to move on as far as the club is concerned. So yeah, that is absolutely fair enough on that part. So yeah, that's an update from there. We thought it was important to bring you that because, as I said, you guys do regularly post in our comment section what is the latest, and we haven't heard anything up until this point. We're bringing you the latest. As I said, if we hear any more, if we hear any other statements that are released, then of course we will bring that to you in the future. So moving on now, let's go on to news in the SIL, because we've had 3 bits of news that, have shocked quite a lot of people over the past week. Things never stay quiet in the SIL. There's always stuff happening and always movements happening. But first of all, before we talk about the managerial departures, we do have to talk about, sadly, another club making the decision to leave the SIL.
We've got 2 clubs that have decided to fold, haven't we? Yeah. The iconic Channel legends that are Clare Town have folded tonight.
Yes, yeah.
So we haven't really got a slide because they don't play in a league that we cover, but they're in the local cup competitions. But they're not anymore. But they had two sides, and neither of them could field teams any longer. So Clare have gone.
Yeah, so we they were one of the teams that were talked about towards the end of last season, because we started to kind of like talk about their games and cover them. I think from what they'd said in their statement is that the reserve team were having to go in place of the first team due to lack of player availability, etc., etc. And their comment that they've made this evening is that for the integrity of the league, they made the decision that it was now the right time for them to leave the league. So that's their statement from that part. Whilst Adam is sorting out his microphone, I will read you out the Southwold statement because they were the latest club to have left. Now, Southwold themselves have not made a statement. I have reached out to them. I haven't had a response from anybody at the club. So the two statements I'm going to be reading out are from the SIL themselves. So here's what the league had to say. So today we have learned that Southwold have withdrawn their SIL team that were in Division 1. They will continue to have a side playing in the Lowestoft District League. So from a club perspective, it's good news that they still have somewhere to play, that the club is not completely gone and is not completely folded. But from an SIL side of things, it's now one less team in Division 1, and we were already running on the bare minimum as it is in that league. So now we will only have 10 teams in Division 1, and the Southwold fixtures, previous games and league table will be adjusted to show their withdrawal. Then in a statement following that, the league then put, in recent weeks, the league has lost a number of clubs and teams because of ongoing problems, mainly due to availability of players. This has now become a very worrying problem, and today Southwold have become the 8th team to withdraw from the AGM in June. We talk about the clubs that leave on a regular basis, but when you actually put it together like that, 8 teams have left the league in the past few months. That's quite a worrying amount. If clubs are experiencing problems and are thinking of folding, please can you speak to one of the officers for the league for help before making a final decision. If we can assist a club before taking that final fatal step, then we as a league will help to do so. To be honest, I don't really know what the league can do to help. I'm sure there are things that they will say that they can do, but if you haven't got any players, you haven't got any players. Like, well, I can't magic people up out of thin air to play for you. But
it does seem like player availability and commitment is the thing as well, James. Like gathering a regular 11 that can commit to every week without other commitments that are external to football. It is a problem. But we are at a point which is approaching crisis where we need to keep teams going. We are on the brink of losing as many teams this year as will be making up one of our leagues. I mean, do you know what I mean? We've got 10 teams in one of the divisions, and we're inching closer to having the same number of teams leave as actually forming a league.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Ian's put on point on here. According to the FA full time, they had 49 players signed on.
So where's the fix? You've got 49 players signed on and you can't field an 11. I mean, that's mental.
That's what the league is saying, but Southwold have left and they are still playing football. So it's not as if the club have completely gone. They've made a decision that the Lowestoft League will be better for them than the Ipswich League. Because Shem's point here, mainly travelling for some of these players, 10 teams, which I assume no relegation from Div 1 could result with nothing to play for come February, which is sad from a league.
We've already had this discussion tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
Other than a few spaces, that league's dead this year.
Yeah, other than going for promotion. Are they going to relegate anybody realistically? Probably not.
They need to load the league, not take people out of it.
Yeah.
But
it'd be interesting to see how they approach that one. But like I said, Southwold have clearly made a decision that works for them, that the travelling for those guys was no longer worth it anymore. They've moved to another league, which is good. We don't want to see a club go completely, but it is worrying times in that. And like I said, 10 games, that league could be easily wrapped up by February and, have nothing left other than cup competitions to play for. So, it's an interesting one. It really is. What league did Clare Town play in? I don't know, in all honesty. It's not something I kind of looked into before tonight's show. I'll try and have a look whilst there.
They played. I'll have a quick look now whilst you're reading
Yeah.
through the comments, James, because
Yeah.
I did have that.
Vinny's put SIL closing the table door once the horse is bolted. Player commitment is one thing, but if the clubs were given the opportunity to postpone with the league fining clubs, it might be more manageable. That comment was echoed by what Maverick has put on here. Delay fixtures without fining ? I mean, that is potentially an issue on there. Dan Barnard, I reckon whoever rock bottom of Div 1 will request a drop to a lower league if there is no relegation. Possibly, but why would you? If there's no ramifications for you for finishing bottom this year, and teams are going to come up into it, why would you drop down? I can't see any clubs making that decision, but you never know. Also, teams could go a fortnight without playing a game, as Codnam have gone as well. Yeah. There's a lot of. I said there's a lot of teams that have gone from that division.
One game in a month if they're not lucky, if they're not careful. It was the Cambridgeshire League that Clare have gone from. Yeah,
there you go. A real shame. It's a club that I never actually made my way over to. I always wanted to get myself over there, but not one I never made it quite round to. But yeah, it is a shame. And like as we say, just another team have dropped out from the SIL. I think I don't know when the next AGM will be, and I don't know when the next meeting will be. But some serious questions have to be asked about what direction the league is going in now, where we're heading, what we're going to do, what solutions are we going to have to try and sort this out, how we're going to get more teams in. There needs to be a broader conversation moving forward now. We talked about it very briefly with the Stage Boys when I had them on for the interview. Div 4 is like a non-entity now. Like, it's just an absolutely pointless league. Are we going to see all of those guys kind of pushed up the pyramid and teams from Div 2 going up, etc.? I don't know.
The people that make the decisions will realise that, and they'll realise that that's really ruined things. I mean, Stephen's put in the chat the reason why no one validates the Scottish Football League.
A league with 10 teams in the league, yeah, fair play.
But something needs to be done. I don't know if it's too late to change the league format. I guess it is, but these teams need to be playing more games.
Yeah,
like 18 games is not the reason why you get into playing men's football.
No.
Like, it's just it's another COVID season at this point in time. Only having 18 games to play.
Yeah. Ben's comment here: surely time to have less leagues but more teams in each division. You would think so. Like I said, maybe Div 4 is going to have a bit of a reboot. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Framlingham and Walsham have only played 2 games this season in our league, which says it all. Ryan's here, evening, mate. Good evening. Paul, AGM next year. Wow. Okay, so we're not going to have another meeting about it until the end of next season. So, is anything going to be done between now and then? I'd love to know.
Adam Potter, that is a point. Get on that chat comment.
Playing in a pointless league will only end up more players thinking, "What is the point?" It's
fuel the fire, and then more teams go. It's a point. You've got to. I don't know. I think we need someone else. I think we need to give them something else to focus on.
Yeah. Sorry. This comment. Div 1 can play each other 4 times like the Scottish leagues do. Yeah. Like, was it you that mentioned last time about splitting the league, or did I read that comment from somebody else?
No, someone else said about splitting the league, but I said about just adding in a League Cup competition that's only for Div 1, just to give them enough games where you just do basically split the league in half just by drawing it, and you play each team once that's in your half, and it's 2 games at home, 2 games away, and the top 2 teams just go on to a knockout competition with 2 legs for semis, 2 legs for the final. Yeah, just get more games in the legs.
Yeah. Sands United, if teams are ever in need of a game to fill the gap, we're happy to offer a run out. I'll be promoting your game in just a bit, boys, on that part. Yeah, just echoing, AGM is at the end of June next year. AD, bit of a shock seeing Southwold League. They turned up at ours with a full squad and looked decent. How many games had they played? I think they played 4 games from my reckoning before they decided that was not going to be for them anymore. Maverick need youngsters coming in. Problem is they've all been poached by the EJA, fake academies, etc.
Fake academies. Not feeling too strong about those, are you, Maverick?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, the ABC leagues can be thrown into the main league structure. No, but like, I've been banging this drum for ages. Like the Anglian Com do it. Why can we not do it? Like the reserve side of things, as long as you've got a gap between the first and the reserves, there's absolutely no reason why that can't be done.
I'm
Absolutely
not
no
even sure if
reason.
there's any point, and that's a very callous thing to say, but the ABC leagues just feel like a pool of misfit that don't fit the normal pyramid. Like, let's just
Well,
integrate them.
the ABC leagues are the reserves, the A's and the B's, aren't they? Like that is what they are made up of. But at this point, they're almost becoming like the furlough non-reserve league. Like
Yeah,
I think the furlough. What did we look at before the season started? I think there was like 10, maybe 11,
well, it's
possibly
not.
12 teams in the furlough none
But
reserves.
that
It's like
that that
next to none. It's
that
next to
furlough
none.
non-reserve team league is on its arse as well. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't look like that's going to be something that continues long term.
Yeah, but again, like the league just reach out to these guys and just say, look, if you're in our area, come in. Like we're restructuring the league. Like I said, it's a conversation we've had so many times, and every time a club folds or a club leaves, we keep having the same discussion. Let the league pyramid be like the Anglian Com, where reserves and the A's can play in the league structure. They've got something to compete for, and invite all of these other leagues in. It's simple in my simple in my eyes. Otherwise, give it 3 or 4 years, and who are we going to have left? The top 2 divisions and maybe a scattering of teams in Div 2. Like,
I
what's the
understand the
point?
whole senior player argument, but I think there's time that it's now the conversation's getting very real around the fact that the need for teams and a real league structure becomes greater than the worry about teams playing their senior players in reserve teams.
Yeah,
Like it just needs some clever thinking outside the box about how to overcome that, maybe. And I don't know what the answer is, but we need an answer.
yeah. Maverick, nothing to play for in Div 1 when the senior reserve sides are all sit at top of Div 1. Well, as I said, if there's a league, if you can't get promoted within a certain distance, like they do, like with the furlough none, etc., then that might not be able to happen. Stephen, no reserve leagues. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Matthew, Anglian Com
Well,
is
I
a
don't think
great
that's a
league.
bad shout. Get rid of reserve leagues and integrate it a bit more, and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This whole player status thing that Maverick mentions, that's the answer. Like we know that's the answer. It's been taken away in the past. Re-implementing it is probably, in a weird way, going back to what once was is actually a step forward, not a step backwards for once, because of the way that we've circled around and the world has changed. We haven't got 15 leagues in the SIL all brimming with 18 clubs apiece. It's just not the same anymore, and we just need to find a solution.
Yeah, no, 100%, we do. But moving on from Southwold, we need to talk about 2 managerial changes in the SIL Senior League, which is a league that we tend to we cover the Senior League, but we mainly talk about the results and the fixtures coming up. It's not a league that has ever really had any sort of breaking news for quite some time now. But 2 managerial changes have greatly impacted that league. First of all, we saw Bennell announcing that Matt Murphy has decided to step down from first team duties. We'd like to thank Matt for all of his hard work and time. Several great memories were made last season. We wish him all the best for the future and hope to see him at plenty of upcoming games. Adam, just very briefly before we move on to the Old Newton side of things, would you say that comes as a bit of a shock? I have reached out.
Massive shock, to be honest, because I hadn't seen it on Twitter, so just learning about it.
Oh, there you go. Dear me. So Bennell, after a really good season last time around, before obviously the COVID strike kind of hit them, last season they ended up, whilst I'm waiting for the league table to refresh, they were actually top when the season finished.
Yeah.
Things have not gone amazingly well so far this year. They'd played 8 games, won 3 of them and lost 5, but still, it did come as a bit of a shock, to be honest, when that news kind of broke. I'd love to get your thoughts on that one. And then we had the news of Old Newton and Macca deciding that he was going to be moving on. He's put on here, has been one of the biggest decisions rather I've had to make, but I feel the time is right to now move on. I will miss the club and everyone involved. It is a great club, and just remember, lads, every little thing is going to be all right. Old Newton following that up by saying that we have reluctantly accepted Macca's decision and will be forever grateful for his help, commitment, and efforts to get the club back into senior football. We will now be taking some time before deciding how we go about replacing him. So 2 manager changes in the league. I want to get your thoughts, everybody, in the comment section right now. What do you make of the 2 decisions? We want to hear from you. I don't know how the Macca one was an interesting one, because very quickly he's now been appointed as the assistant manager at Hadley. So he was not out of football for very long. Literally the next day that was kind of announced. It's a good move for him. It's a very good move for him. Hadley are a very good club who seem to be on the up and continuing to get better every year on year. But what do you kind of make of it, Adam?
It did take me by surprise. I don't think this is anything to do with the start they've had to the season, by the way. I'll add that in there. It's been very progressive there in terms of what he's done and stuff. But I think he's moving on to Hadley, and it's another great opportunity for progress for him. A really good move for him, and to Old Newton's detriment, I guess, to somewhat. He's like a fixture there, isn't he? In terms of he's part of what you know about Old Newton, and it's time for them to enter a new era and pretty much go again. They're in a good position. He's left them in a good place. So it'll be time to see whoever's ready for the next.
Yeah, he came in at a time when they'd just gone down to Div 1. And some of the battles that I saw between them and Bilderston in Div 1 were like ferocious. They were like the games that the channel kind of based itself on, and we kind of grew together basically. But yeah, some of those games were absolutely insane at times. And obviously they then did it. They got themselves up into the league and established themselves quite nicely, actually. They weren't one of those teams that went up and then started struggling. They were kind of there or thereabouts in the middle, kind of pushing for the higher positions. Obviously, this side of things has not gone amazingly well. They're sat in 13th out of 16th places at the moment. But I think with both teams, there's enough of a foundation there that as long as a right appointment is made, I think both clubs are going to be absolutely fine. Because
you feel like Old Newton will be fine, don't you? Mm. Just despite the start, I wasn't worried about an outcome with them.
No, because they've got a good team. They've got all of the basis of everything right there. You don't know how much kind of an influence a certain player or a certain manager has on a club, and if that one person then goes, you just don't want to see loads of people kind of following suit out of the door. So, like I said, I think if both clubs make the right decision, I think both sides of it will be absolutely fine. Let's get some of your comments in the on the screen here. Dan, good to have you in the building, my man. I did see your comment earlier on. Apologies for not bringing it up. Old Newton are a great club. Really nice setup. 100% agree with that. Hope they can get promoted to step 6.
This is coming from somebody that goes to more games than pretty much anyone else I know on Twitter. So that's high praise, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, the clubhouse is good. The pitch is good at Old Newton. Like, the facilities are there. They've got all of the pitches behind them as well, which I know the reserves and stuff like that play on. The home side is left to their own pitch, which is good. So yeah, they've got everything in place to.
Clubhouse is quality there, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. I do. I've been there once for a couple of drinks, because every time I've gone there, I'm normally driving. But yeah, I do like it in that clubhouse. They've got a good atmosphere there. They've got a good atmosphere. Dean, I don't know much about the Bennell manager, but Macca to Hadley with his head held high, he's done a very good job for Old Newton. Matthew, good luck to him. Shem, big shoes to fill in both vacancies. 100% agree with that one.
Agree with that.
Be interesting to see how both get on this weekend.
That's an interesting point as well, just to see what the mood is in the squad, really.
Yeah. we'll talk about Bennell's result this weekend because their managerial announcement was made during the week, whereas Old Newton's came on, I think it was the Sunday evening. I think it was. I saw that.
It's pretty quick after the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's there. Maverick always have a tough place to go. Old Newton on and off the pitch. Tony's in the building. Good evening, mate. Odie, I'm sure Old Newton are thrilled that he left. Never been a fan of jumping ship mid-season. Harsh. There's jumping ship, and then there's moving to a club with a change and that don't come up very often. Yeah, I think Hadley's a role that and a club that are only getting better and better at the moment. And I think it depends. Like some people kind of see it as you're a manager, you should leave for a management role, and some people are very much you're laying down the foundations, you're learning all the time. It's a good club to go to, and you can kind of build that foundation from there. I don't know.
It's fair to say there's quite a lot happening at Hadley at the moment as well.
Yeah,
Hadley's entering the next phase, and Leon's put a point in there which I couldn't agree more with.
Yeah. So Leon's he's made a decent step up there. Opportunities like that don't come round very often.
It's a case of taking your opportunity that you get to progress yourself, I guess. And
yeah,
he was invested in that club as well, so it wouldn't have been an easy decision for him. I don't think. Let's not take that away. And I get what people are saying. It's a difficult place to leave a team when everyone in that league has practically played a third of their league already. Because of the way things are. But I don't know. Let's not pretend that if a bigger opportunity comes to you in life, you're gonna turn it down, because we all want the next best thing for ourselves.
Yeah. So, no, I get what some people are saying as the counter argument to it. I do. But I don't know. I'm not. I see things from both sides. And that's not just me sitting on the fence. I can see why he's gone. I can see why some people say, well, why would you not go unless it's a manager's position? I kind of get it from both sides. But at the end of the day, it's what makes sense for him as an individual. That's all we can kind of take from it. Only he will know whether or not he's made the right choice on that. So it's Tony. Maka could be abrasive, but he could always put a competitive side out. He has loads of contacts and was always able to get players. Hadley have already started putting in approaches for SIL lads. There we go.
Hadley lost a few lately as well, so that doesn't surprise me.
You should put on there, I guess loyalty means different things to different people. I think loyalty is something that's kind of gone from the game, mate, to be honest. He's done the job that he feels he can with them. And that's, like I said, really you need to kind of speak to him from his own personal side of it. I'm sure if you approached him, he'd be happy to have a conversation with you about why and how he's gone about it and what's, and the reason he's done it. So yeah, there we go. It's an interesting one. Like I said, I just want to see how both clubs kind of appoint, their next manager, who they go for, what kind of decisions are made, and we'll see how both kind of move forward. But we wish both of them, both clubs good luck, and both lads who've left their roles all the best for the future as well. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Glenn, he got them back into senior football. He doesn't owe them anything more. Vinny's put on here, not only that, if you were leaving, then just be honest about why you were leaving. I'm off because a bigger club want me. Well,
is it that simple? I don't know. Again, I get the sentiment, Vinny, but is it actually that simple? I don't know.
Yeah. We all know how football works. We all know how it works. People put out, it's like people signing for Ipswich this season, isn't it? And people have gone, oh, it's a massive club and the history of the club and blah, 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 blah. They don't give a toss about that. They just care about the fact that they've got to move. They're getting some money. They don't care about that stuff. It's just
new signing bingo.
You know what I mean? It's just PR stuff, but there we go. Let's move on. Let's move on. So we had, of course, let's get into some of the results from this weekend. So those are the main talking points. Of course, if you've seen any other news you want us to talk about, put it in the comment section. I'm sure we will get around to covering it. A couple of people have asked this question, so we'll kind of answer it now. When is the next non-league now show going to be out? Not entirely sure at this point. As you can tell, I'm not feeling 100%. I'm going to have tomorrow off. I know there are some big games going on, but I need to rest up. Like, really need to rest up. So possibly the following week, but I will let you guys know. We'll announce stuff in due course. I know you guys enjoy them.
Yeah, I was going to say it's quite nice that people are actually asking for that show now.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we enjoy doing them. And if you haven't seen our reaction to what happened on Tuesday night, some of those results were freaking mental. But yeah, so yeah, we will be doing it soon, and we will make an announcement of it, of course, in due course. So yeah, again, if there's any other news that you kind of spotted that you want us to highlight, let us know in the comment section. We'll try and get around to it towards the end of the show. So let's get into some of the results that have happened. Some of the main results and talking points from this week. Should we start off with FA Cup side of things? We had a lot of games going on this weekend. Adam, do you want to kind of read through some of the results?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to read through the results. So over to me then. FA Cup, Norwich United 3, Mildenhall 2, East Thurrock United 2, Needham Market 2. That one's off for a replay tomorrow night, as is Sudbury 0, Stowmarket 0. Chelmsford battered Little Oakley 5-1, unfortunately. We always knew it was going to be a difficult ask, but that's what happened. Kings Langley 1, Leiston 1. That's also set to be replayed tomorrow night, I believe. And Great Wakering Rovers 3, Peterborough Sports 5. Peterborough Sports can't stop scoring.
Yeah, but obviously the game that was built up quite a lot from last week was the Sudbury and Stowmarket game. By the sounds of things, it wasn't the greatest of games to have ever been played at non-league football. But there's a chance for both sides to redeem themselves because, as Adam said, we have got 3 replays going on, and all of them take place tomorrow night. Needham
Hang on. Chelmsford beat Little Oakley 2-1, not 5-1. Where's that 5-1 been published? Because I picked that up from somewhere as well.
Did they? Did they really?
Or did I? Let me check my notepad. Yeah, I got 5-1 from somewhere else as well, and I didn't do the graphic. So we've both got 5-1 from different sources.
Yeah, well, there we go. I'll see if I can try and find out what it is. But
I take it all back. Little Oakley did fine. That wasn't that bad. Well, there we go. That's me mugged off straight away. Yeah. Anyone else want to come on and read the results out? Why has that been reported as 5-1 online?
No idea, but but apologies to Little Oakley fans and Little Oakley supporters, etc. But yeah, 2-1 was the scoreline on that one. But yeah, so as a result, there are now 3 replays to take place tomorrow night. We've got Needham, who are at home against East Thurrock. Obviously, the Stowmarket and Sudbury game is to be played as well, as is the Leiston versus Kings Langley match. So, based on the games that took place this weekend, Adam, was there a particularly standout result for you, talking point from those games?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Chelmsford 5-1, massive win. Yeah, there we go. On the BBC Sport website as 5-1. Thank you. Dan, we had the Little Oakley thing being a step 5 last week. We've carried the graphic over, so we are aware. So apologies for that one. But I've just been on the Twitter account and it says 2-1 on there.
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah. That's a very good point. That is where I got all of my results from. So BBC, you messed up. You messed up big time, BBC.
Messed up everything. You've ruined the show. We've been mugged off.
Yeah,
I've lost all my confidence.
Yeah, that's it. Right, guys, we're ending the show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. No, I'm joking. So the third round was drawn today, and depending on the outcome of some of the replays which take place tomorrow night, as Stu puts on here, for Needham, if they can get through their tie, they are going to be away at Boston United of the National League North. Norwich United's reward for getting through to the next round is against Step 4 Stamford. Leiston, if they can beat Tamworth, they play against Kings Langley, who are a team that are also in their division, so a side that they...
Other way round, James.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tamworth rather. If they beat them, sorry guys, I'm not with it. I'm not well.
Basically, if Leiston can beat Kings Langley, they'll be
They
home to
played
Tamworth because he got it wrong the second time round. And then Sudbury or Stowmarket, whoever wins plays Cheshunt. Job done.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, but Tamworth are in their league. They do know them, and I know that because I looked at it before we went live. So Tamworth are a team that are in their division. Again, they will know them already. So yeah, if they can beat Kings Langley, which what happens when Tremaine Genius is the host. Brilliant. Yeah, do you know what, Vinny? I've made that joke, and Adam shot me down many months ago. I made that joke.
Because you're a geek. You're a Game of Thrones geek.
I said if they don't name their home ground King's Landing, they've made a massive mistake, and Adam didn't appreciate it. So there we go. We move on. Right. So that's the FA Cup side of things done. Let's go into step 3 football now, as we round up the results from midweek. Now, this is where the non-league now show that if for those of you who don't check in to the non-league now, Sharon's comment earlier, I love the live show on Tuesday. Will be good to see it again when your man flu has gone. Yeah, 100%, because we reacted to some absolutely brilliant games on Tuesday night, including 2 of the results that you see in there, which is the Needham Market 2, AFC Russian Diamonds 2, and St Ives 2, Lowestoft 2, because both of those sides going into the 90th minute were winning 2-1, and then both of them conceded last minute equalizers literally within about 30 seconds of each other. And there was also the Bury result as well, which we reacted to at the same time. They also conceded a last minute equalizer. It was just really proper gutted for all 3 sides involved, because it looked as if, especially, well, for both of our sides, Needham and for Lowestoft at this level of football, those 3 points could have been absolutely massive, and really could have got their seasons off to, just on the right track, so to speak. But yeah, just massively disappointing. Yeah, I know you were disappointed as well, weren't you?
Oh, it just all seemed to go wrong at the end. Like, we actually seemed on for some decent results for our local teams, and just didn't quite come off, did it? But we go again.
100%. We'll move on from that. There was only one game that took place on the weekend at step 3 for our local side, which was Redditch and Barwell, which ended 1-1. So as a result, here is the current league table. So you can see what that Needham result, if they'd gotten their winner, they would have gone up a couple of places, would have been sat on 5 points. For Lowestoft, again, they could have won their game, they would have gone up 1 place and been on 6 points. But again, those wins then suddenly give you a little bit of a distance between the teams at the bottom. You start looking upwards rather than behind your shoulder, so to speak. But yeah, so as I said, both of our sides, local perspective rather, are still towards the bottom of the table. But the one team who is going quite well, who haven't really had too much of a negative impact at not playing over the past week, is Leiston. They are now sat in 7th place, and that is the updated league table. Obviously, the big winners from that week were Peterborough Sports, who won against Tamworth in one of the top of the table battles. That was a really good game to cover, and Peterborough came out on top. Week ahead.
Do you want me to read this?
Well, you can do so. You can do so. I was just going to cover our guys.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're just going through. So Leiston are playing Hednesford Town, however you pronounce that one. Lowestoft are playing Stratford. Peterborough Sports, since we've been talking about them quite a lot lately, they're away to Redditch United, hoping to keep their run going. Needham Market away to Stourbridge.
Which, if you look at the league table side of things, that's 20th versus 21st. That is a massive,
crucial game, isn't it?
That's a huge game.
Shame that one's away.
Yeah, that would have been quite a decent one to have somebody covering. But I'm sure we'll have people reporting in on that one. Look, from a Lowestoft perspective, it doesn't get any easier. Stratford are in a great run of form at the moment, and are doing really well. Leiston side of things, again, they've won the last 2, which is great, but they're coming into a side who have not unbeaten in the last 5 games as well. So I don't think any of our local sides have got it easy this week. Needham will be spotting that as an opportunity to go out and really do some damage.
Teams at the top of the table as well. I've got some easier fixtures as well, so don't expect this league to look much different next week, if I'm honest.
No, definitely. Shem, Needham.
Desperately, Shem.
This is why we were so gutted on that show, because we knew what that could have done for them, and we knew the impact that result could have had. And again, from Lowestoft as well, they both desperately needed that win. So yeah, we were bitterly disappointed on the night. Moving into step 4 now, as we look at the Isthmian North. Obviously, we had the result from the Monday night, which was the hashtag Malden and Tiptree game. That result tended to have a bit of an impact on the Super Six, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Considering how much everyone's pretty vocal about not really liking hashtag, lots of people put them down to beat Felixstowe. So, yeah, I think people thought that was going to be the start of a resurgence. 3-0 against Malden, though, that was a shock result, and that one won't sit comfortably with me for some time. Going through the week, AFC Sudbury lost 3-1 to Dereham. Good result there for Dereham, considering Sudbury's form going into the game. Basildon won, Whittam won. As we said, a last-minute equaliser for Coggeshall Town saw Bury get a score draw. Play most of the game with 10 men.
I was just going to say, they were down to 10 men after, I think, 10 minutes, wasn't it? They went 1-0 up, then went down to 10 men and held on for 80-odd minutes before that equaliser went in. But, yeah, particularly gutting result for those guys. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so Haybridge Swifts 1, Stowmarket Town 2. Stowmarket didn't play great, apparently, by all reports, but brought home the result against a struggling Haybridge team. Holbridge Sports 1, Felixstowe and Walton 4 in a game that was foggy. Tilbury 2, Great Wakering 1, Grays Athletic 4, smashing Romford 0.
Yeah. Dan, Reece Logan was absolutely class for Dereham on Tuesday night. Seasiders 2 in a row, hashtag lost. Dan Puff, I was at the Bury game. Impressed by what Bury have done to their ground and the support that they've got. There was over 400 there. Yeah, no, 100%.
You were more impressed by the sausages, Dan. I've seen your Twitter account.
So those were the games that were played during the week. And then on Saturday, we had...
to roll on?
Yeah, crack on.
Save your voice. Yeah,
appreciate that.
Aveley 2, Haybridge Swifts 2, Canvey Island 1, Holbridge Sports 1. God, it's exciting so far. Coggeshall 1, Grays Athletic 1. Does anyone want 3 points in this league? Dereham Town 0, Basildon 0, hashtag 0, Felixstowe 2. Get in, boys. Malden and Tiptree against Barking was postponed, probably because someone got COVID. Whittam 1, Bury 2.
So finally, a win for Bury against Whittam. Now, Whittam had actually started off this season very well.
It's actually a good result, to be honest, considering how Whittam have been going.
That's a brilliant result. It was really, really good. From a Felixstowe perspective, that's 2 wins out of 2. As somebody put in the comment section just a few moments ago, that's a great result for them. Really, really is. Both of our sides, as we say, away from home, collecting 3 points. Which one for you is the more impressive out of the 2?
Well, it doesn't have to even be impressive. Felixstowe beat hashtag, so that will always win. So yeah, I don't care. I'm buzzing for that result, and it's too good. It's 2 good results in a week for Felixstowe. So let's bring all the praise we can on them. It's a great week for Felixstowe.
Yeah, Zach Brown with a brace for Felixstowe.
People are really impressed with Zach Brown. He's getting a lot of praise. So a very, very good addition it looks like for Felixstowe, and good start to the season.
Yeah. And just to make everybody aware, the reason Malden and Barking was postponed was the fact that Barking got through to the next round of the FA Cup. So that was the reason why that game got changed.
Oh, what flipping heck, James.
There was a reason, and I just didn't have it ready, so apologies about that. Stephen, Suffolk club's going strong. 100%.
Still pushing on in the FA Cup as well. So
yeah, definitely. So here is how the league table is now currently looking. One of the clubs you would spot down the bottom there in 18th place is Hull Holbridge Sports. Now, they have announced about an hour or so before we went live tonight that they have actually changed their managers. They've relieved both Darren Manning and James Wakeling of their duties of the club. They've been there for quite some time. I think it was 5 years somebody had posted in the comments of that. That's got a very negative reaction this evening from a lot of people who are saying that you're not going to get anybody to do a better job than those guys. Very interesting reaction from that one. If you want to see what some people have been putting, just go over to Holbridge's Twitter account and look at some of the comments because people are not happy.
You've missed the fact that Haybridge lost their manager in the week as well. Julian Dicko stepped down as well. So
Julian Dick's left, didn't he?
Julian Dick. So this league is shedding very quickly.
Yeah, people not hanging around at step 4 this time around. I think when you kind of see, Whittam, who we talked about just a moment there, they were one of the kind of whipping boys in this league, weren't they? Somebody who were at the bottom for the past few years. They've had a good start to the season. There are teams that are now starting to, fall into that gap and, replacing those. And 2 of those have reacted very quickly. But top of the table wise, you can see that all of our sides are in the top half, which is fantastic news. Stowmarket are in 10th. Bury are in 7th. And we've got 2 of our sides in Felixstowe and Sudbury who are sat in the playoffs on 10 points apiece, which is brilliant.
Sudbury with a little cheeky game in hand there as well could be all the difference.
Yeah. But again, good to see DeeJam up there as well. Obviously, a side just up the road in Norfolk. But yeah, 4 of our sides in the top half of the table. It's fantastic. Fantastic to see from a local side perspective. Managers going all over the place today. 3 sacked in the National League. Yeah, we mentioned about Barnet sacking Harry Kill before we went live. That's one that's been all over my timeline today. But yeah, clubs starting to react, clubs starting to panic, and it's all happening at step 4. Now there are no games taking place. Let me just get the graphic. So there are fixtures on the Saturday, which is taking place. It's only 3 games. But one of our sides is in action. Sudbury, they are away from home against Romford. 2 other fixtures are taking place. Aveley versus Barkins on the Friday night, and Haybridge Swifts are playing against Malden and Tiptree. So we wish, obviously, Sudbury all the best.
I'll be wishing Haybridge Swifts all the best against Malden.
Why is that?
Unless hashtag was the sign of dire straits at the club, I think Haybridge might be in for an absolute battering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Dan, you are 100% right. AF Trophy games on there, which
AF Trophy.
Yeah, I believe so. FA Trophy. I don't know, man. Leave me alone. I'm not feeling well.
Done ya.
I'm not feeling well. Leave me alone. So moving on. This weekend we have got FA Vase games taking place. Adam, do you want to read out some of these games because there are some absolute corkers taking place?
Absolutely love to. As you all know, FA Vase is my favourite competition in the whole of football, and I actually mean that, not being sarcastic for once. And second round doesn't disappoint with some tasty little gems. So Ely City versus Mildenhall. That looks like that's going to be played on Friday. That's only a guess at the date, but I think it will be. It's the 25th of Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Friday one.
Swaffham will meet their match against Ainsbury Rovers. That'll be an interesting game, I think. See what happens there. Sheringham versus Thetford Town. Whittlesea Athletic versus Framlingham Town. Great Yarmouth Town versus Walsham Willows or Marchtown. James hasn't corrected this because Walsham won considerably.
They did.
Kirkley and Pakefield versus Debenham. Newmarket versus Diss. Oh, that'll be quite interesting after the last couple of games for Newmarket. Wroxham versus Godmanchester Rovers. Lakenheath versus Downham. And Newbury Forest will be playing Buckhurst Hill on Sunday.
Yeah, we have got a second page of games that are taking place as well. These are mainly sides in the Furlough and South. But yeah, Redbridge versus Hadley, White Ensign versus Ipswich Wanderers, Wivenhoe versus Stanway Rovers, Witton versus Wormley Rovers, Benfleet versus Holland, Cornard versus Barkingside, Burnham Ramblers versus Long Melford, and Haverhill Rovers versus London Lions. So as I say, as Adam said, one game taking place on the Friday night, and we do have a game on the Sunday, which is the Newbury versus Buckhurst Hill game. Ely, Friday, are you going? No, I'm not going to a game this week. I'm literally just going to take the week as it kind of comes now, because as I said, to be honest, I really shouldn't be doing this show because I feel absolutely awful, but there we go. So I'm just going to kind of take this week as it comes. But yeah, I don't think I'm off to a game this week. I'm not entirely sure. Dan, are you guys off to any games this week? I'm not sure about Adam. But again, I'm not. But I'm off to Suffolk versus Houston tomorrow, and Ely versus Milnhall in the Vase.
Kate's out for a meal tomorrow night, so I'm sitting in, watching the scores come through on the Twitter.
Nice, Jesus. Oh dear me. Benfleet versus Buckhurst is on the Sunday. I could have sworn it was Newbury Forest, but there we go. So those are some of the games, and I can't wait to be back at Witton on Saturday. Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
too busy watching McFly this week, weren't you, Hannah?
There we go. Right, so furlough none reserve time. Jesus Christ, I need to go to bed.
Right, I'll go. Do you want me to go? Do you want me to carry on, James?
Yes, please. Furlough none Premier results from midweek. Carry on, Adam.
Okay. Galston 1, Kirkley and Pakefield 3. Shock. Mulbarton 2, Fakenham 1. Newmarket 0, Lakenheath 6. Shock. Thetford 3, Hadley 2. Another shock. Witton 0, Norwich United 4. What happened on Tuesday night in this league?
Yeah, there were some mad results. I mean, the Lakenheath one stands out, doesn't it? That's
the form that Galston were on as well. Stu was there reporting from that game.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have said that. Galston could have gone top of the league.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when the last time was that they were top of the furlough non-prem. I dare say it probably hasn't ever happened. But good grief, like that was a real opportunity, and it's been fluffed there. And I think, it's quite a big win for Kirkley. Like Kirkley seemed to win one week, then get battered the next, and there's no rhyme or reason to any of their results really. The Lakenheath result was mental. Like we can't get away from that. But Thetford have now strung a couple of wins together, which, I mean, I wasn't really expecting it. And Hadley have been going well. A 3-2 win. I mean, that game had it all by the looks of it. And
there was a late winner in that one as well, wasn't there? I think it was the 89th minute or something like that. It was very late on.
Norwich United are also showing how deadly they can be. I think that we were doing this live and they went 2-0 up in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was ridiculously quick, wasn't it?
So, things to watch out there with Norwich United, because they started slow, but I do think they're going to be coming on strong.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Mulbarton as well before we go on to Saturday's games, who just keep on going. Like, they just seem to be a bit relentless at the moment. But there we go. So those are results from midweek. Saturday's games. Adam, take it away.
Walsham the Willows 1, Ely City 0. It's not going too rosy for Ely this season, much against our predictions. Brompham 0, Galston 2. Again, this league, you can't tell what's going to happen from one week to another. Fakenham 2, Lakenheath 2. Hadley 1, Mulbarton 4. Long Melford 1, Witton 1. Marchtown 5, Kirkley and Pakefield 1. Yeah. That's the point I was alluding to when I was saying about Kirkley and Pakefield. Newmarket 3, Wroxham 5, covered on the DeeJam YouTube channel with extended highlights and commentary over the top. James stated that's possibly the best game of non-league football he's ever been to. So if you haven't watched it, check out the highlights.
It's not possibly, on reflection, it is the best game of football I've seen at non-league. It was absolutely brilliant. It was such a good game. I can't speak highly enough of it. the first kind of 10, 15 minutes was both sides kind of seeing, just kind of easing their way into the game. And then it, like, from the moment the first goal went in, it just exploded into life. I messaged you, didn't I, before the game started, and I was listening to both team talks beforehand, and the way they were both kind of downplaying it, and we're going to play our game, let them play theirs, don't worry about what they're doing, let's just concentrate on us. And I thought, oh god, this could be like really like a dull 0-0 scoreline, but Christ above, I couldn't have been more wrong. I
did tell you to stop talking silliness, though, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You quickly shot me down.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Can we just bring up Sharon's comment when we're talking to the Woodbridge fixture? Because I do have something to say here quite seriously. Swaffham 0, Woodbridge 6. It is getting to the point where it's getting a bit silly for Swaffham. Like, Swaffham, they were never the best team in the league, but they used to be an interesting challenger. But it is now, like she says, it's getting to the point where there is no pleasure in seeing them get battered 6-0, 7-0, and then everyone's going to say, well, what about when you always laugh at Wisbech St Mary or whatever? There's no consistency there. I take your point, I guess. But Swaffham, not that long ago, were actually good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's happened, but very, very quickly, they are not very good anymore, and it's just not working out. It really isn't. Yeah. They seem lost. They really do seem lost. And to be honest, Woodbridge will be absolutely relishing that result, especially considering the goal difference and where they are in the league. But moving on, Thetford, another incredible win. 4-2 against Haverhill Rovers. Those 2 wins they've got in the last week are invaluable. Really good. Dan, you've said you've just seen Swaffham's last 5 results on Footballogy. I would recommend going on to the Furlough Nunn site and looking at their season so far to draw a picture of exactly what we're talking about in depth, because the last 5 results probably don't even tell the real tale, to be honest.
Yeah. Sharon's comment here, I think their whole team disappeared within a week, which is a very, very telling side of things of where they are at the moment. But yeah, some massive results taking place in amongst that league. So this is how it currently leaves the league table. So yeah, we mentioned Swaffham now on a -32 goal difference. I can't see how things are going to turn around for them. It's going to take something dramatic for that to take place. Haverhill Rovers in the second of the relegation spots on 4 points. A whole host of teams on 7 points apiece after that. Ely, Fakenham, Witton, and Long Melford. And we've got, like you said, a couple of big results of Thetford, and all of a sudden they've moved up to 12th in the table.
It's a different ball game for them now, all of a sudden, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very odd bottom end of the table, because essentially Swaffham lose every week. Haverhill struggle to get a result, and everyone else is just there or thereabouts.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. So we've got the difficulty is at this point is that we've got a lot of teams who are down there because they haven't played the kind of same number of games as each other. So we'll kind of see where things lie after some of those other teams get up, pick up some more fixtures. But top of the table, we can see a couple of maybe not so positive results of Hadley, and they've dropped a little bit down the table. Norwich United just continue to improve, make small improvements, and they're now slowly climbing.
Newmarket have had a week from hell. Destroyed their goal difference. Created a gap. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, really is. And as a result of that, Mulbarton, with the way that they've been continuing, have gone up another place and are now in 3rd spot. But we've got Wroxham and Galston, who are now separated by 2 points apiece at the moment. Obviously, Wroxham just continuing to do amazingly well. But yeah, so that is how the current league table sits at the moment. Fixture-wise for the upcoming weeks, there are some big games going on this weekend. Adam, read out a couple of those for us, mate.
Just any 2 or the whole lot?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Ely City versus Marchtown. Kirkley and Pakefield versus Wroxham. Goodness knows which Kirkley will turn up. Lakenheath versus Swaffham.
I've just spotted in there that I've put all of their all of their losses in green. They wish. They wish.
Just make them feel a bit better. I mean, if the Lakenheath team that turned up at Newmarket turned up for Swaffham, it's going to be a cricket score. Norwich United versus Mildenhall. That is going to be a banger. Get yourself to it. Woodbridge versus Galston.
Again, like I think those bottom two fixtures could be absolutely brilliant. And like you said, it depends on which Kirkley side turn up as to how they're going to get on against Wroxham, because they are very much one or the other. But they on their day, they could quite easily give Wroxham a game. March have turned their season around, 3 wins out of 3. We all questioned the managerial change at the time, but it appears to be working and paying off so far. They've won their last three games on that one. But yeah, some big games taking place this week. Those bottom two in particular, they look huge. They really, really do. And then on Saturday, just the 3 games taking place because the Vase is currently on. So there's Mulbarton versus Galston, Norwich United against Bramford Athletic, and Woodbridge versus March Town. Again, the Mulbarton Galston game looks proper tasty. Really, really tasty.
Norwich have got 2 big fixtures this week. They'll be quite telling, and Bramford are having an absolute disaster piece of a season so far compared to how they were last season. Norwich,
so Mildenhall and against Bramford, but they're both at home, so there is that as an advantage to them. So we'll see.
I heard from Norwich United on the DMs this week regarding their game against Bury and the fact that Bury were playing in blue and Norwich United were playing in some variety of dark blue, when Norwich have a third kit now and it's orange. And apparently the referee was okay with it, and the reason for them having to wear it was because there was a clash with the goalkeeper kit.
Right.
But yeah, got given a bit of news, said I'd share it with you all. No one's probably all that interested, but just a bit of something to fill in that I was interested in.
Fair enough. And from one of those games that took place this weekend, I do just have some of the highlights from the Hadley versus Mulbarton game, which was sent over to me. So enjoy the 5 goals that took place in this game. I think it's safe to say that they're not going to be impressed with any of the defending from a Hadley perspective for those goals.
No, the last
fair
one,
play to Mulbarton for taking advantage, but like the defending was not great, was it?
But the first goal though from Hadley, banger.
What a strike!
Maverick, no goalkeeper change kit in the Bury Norwich United game. That was one of the things that they did that was questioned, and apparently the ref just didn't want to change the goalkeeper kits over and said it was okay to play in the 2 shades of blue. So it's very unusual, to be honest, when there is a third kit available.
That's Dan, Norwich United have won more games than Norwich City. There's a lot of teams who have won more games than Norwich City. In fact, our record's on level par with Swaffham and Wisbech. So there it is.
Norwich City in the same sentence as Wisbech St Mary. My life is complete.
Dan, can someone confirm if Norwich CBS are looking at temporarily playing at Norwich's nest?
I've heard that, but I don't know if it's true.
There you go. Did not know that, but there we go. So we'll keep an eye on that one in the future. Furlough None North action now. So the results from this weekend. Adam, can you read out some of those? Yeah, please.
Of course I can. Everybody's favourite league. Whittlesea Athletic 2, Peterborough North End 0, Debenham 2, Needham Market Reserves 1. Again, doesn't make sense, but it's happened. Downham 0, Halston 1, FC Parson Drove 1, Sheringham 0. Framlingham, huge. Framlingham 1, Norwich CBS 2, and I think both of these goals are virtually the last kicks of the game. Framlingham let go of that right at the end. Great Yarmouth 0, UEA 3. A bit of a poor start continues for Yarmouth. Huntington Down 2, Distown 2, still struggling for Dis. And Leiston Reserves and Wisbech St Mary was postponed. So
there was a reason for that.
That's best result of the season for Wisbech.
Well, no, there was a reason for that. You have to excuse me whilst I try and load this up. I believe that there was a
injury or something, or
no, there was something before the game. I'm just trying to have a scroll through Twitter. Apologies, everybody. There was a reason why that game didn't take place. I believe it was to do with a bereavement. I'm not entirely sure from a Wisbech side of things. I can't quite remember if that
was possibly a Wisbech cancellation.
I believe so. I can't quite remember it, so apologies from anybody.
So that game will be due to be rescheduled as soon as possible. We'll bring news of when that one comes through.
Yeah,
if that's the case, because
apparently the Norwich CBS news is apparently true from a lot of people in the comment section on here. So yeah, some big results in there. In particular, the Parsons Drove versus Sheringham one. Did not see that result coming at all. That's a huge.
It's a big win for Debenham as well.
Oh yeah, God, they needed that. 100% they needed that. So yeah. League table wise, this is where the league table now currently stands. It is worrying times for Great Yarmouth now.
Well, no, I don't think anyone can get relegated out of this league again, can they? So who cares?
I know you can't, but it's still like
this is a team that were in the Furlough None Prem competing around the middle of the table only a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very, very strange. But yeah, so they are currently sat in 15th place. 3 points for Debenham moves them up a few places in the table, and they are now sat in 12th. And we've got a lot of teams who are kind of in a similar vein of form to each other that are kind of just sat now in mid-table. Moving on to the top half of the table now.
Bit of a stretch there, isn't there? Halston and Whittlesea are starting to make their own little race.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of those teams do have games in hand. For example, Huntington and also Sheringham do have their game. They win there. They move within 3 points of the top of the table. But yeah, it's
brutal result though for Sheringham, wasn't it, this weekend?
Yeah, they would have definitely seen that as a game that they could have gone on to win. Fixtures wise for the upcoming weeks, well, again, nothing during the week, but we have 4 games taking place on the weekend. It's Needham Reserves versus Huntingdon, Norwich CBS versus Halston, which, I mean, that's a brilliant game. That could be really could be an absolute banger there. Peterborough North End and Leiston Reserves are playing against each other, as are UEA and Parson Drove, rather. So moving on to
the weekend without a game for Wisbech. Has that been cancelled then?
I believe they're taking place in the Vase. I could be wrong. I'd need to look in on that one.
There's no way Wisbech into the next round of the Vase, with all due respect.
But yes, there we go. So the Blues reserves game against Wisbech this afternoon has been postponed due to a bereavement at our visitors. On behalf of the club, we send our condolences. So yes, from a Wisbech side of things. So yeah, we send our best to everybody connected with the club. Furlough none south. Let's go on to the results that took place during the week. Not as many midweek games as there normally is, but we had 3 games that took place.
Mad league this though, isn't it? Barkingside 0, Wormley 3, Benfleet 3, Frentford 2, and Coggleshall United 2, Ipswich Wanderers 2. Wanderers played 70 minutes, I think, with 10 men, and were 2-0 down, and smashed the post a number of times and pulled it back.
Yeah.
Hats off.
Yeah.
Hats off, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Results from the weekend then.
So May and Baker showing their class with a 4-0 win against Houston Town. Brimstone, they're getting battered again. Newbury Forest hitting 7 past them this week. Buckhurst 4, Benfleet 1, Burnham Ramblers 1, Parkview 3. I mean, Burnham were going well as well not so long ago.
Did not see that result coming.
No, Frentford 2, Wivenhoe 1, Harwich and Parkston 1, Barkingside 3. This is a ridiculous result. Haverhill Borough 1, Hackney 6.
Yeah.
Holland 2, Cornard 1. Cornard in the mud as well. And Ipswich Wanderers 3, Wormley Rovers 0. Wormley Rovers, who were at the top of the league not very long ago. It's a topsy-turvy league.
Yeah, definitely. So as a result of those games that took place midweek and on the weekend, this is now the current league table. 2 of our former sides around this area in Cornard and Haverhill continue to struggle in this league. They're in 18th and 19th place respectively. AFC Sudbury Reserves are in 16th. Moving on to the top of the table, where things like some of these fixtures are all over the place. We've got some teams playing 13 games and some teams playing 8. It's all over the place. It's chaotic, but look how close it is. It's ridiculous. You know, you've got top of the table and 10th place separated by 6 points. It's crazy. It's a mental league.
Everyone just beats everyone, don't they?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's going to take me at least half a season to get to grips with how this league works and who does what. But I still don't think I'll even understand after that time. Dan, that Coggeshall game was incredible. Ipswich scored twice late on with 10 men. Coggeshall threw it away.
Nice little review of the game.
There we go. So during the week, our game's taking place from tomorrow. We've got
Sudbury Reserves versus Houston Town. I think Dan has already said he might be off to that one. Haverhill, I might have read that wrong, but Haverhill Borough versus Cornard. Ipswich Wanderers versus Harwich and Parkston. Ipswich Wanderers have had a bit of up and down form, but they're going to be going to visit Harwich and Parkston, who are not having much fun. Newbury Forest versus Buckhurst looks to be the pick of the bunch, whilst Hackney Wick are at home to Holland. And that is on, what the heck Wednesday. Day? It's the 22nd.
Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, on the Wednesday night. And then on the weekend.
So Sudbury Reserves will be playing Hackney Wick, and that'll be interesting. Coggeshall United are playing Parkview. Frentford have got Brimstone. Battle of 2 struggling teams there. Harwich and Parkston will have Haverhill Borough in what is going to be a really important game.
You look at all 4 of these, all 8 rather, of these teams, and there's an argument to say that all eight of them need a win.
Other than Hackney, who have done their bit. Hackney will put the pressure on those top 6 spaces or whatever, but the other 7 are good grief.
Yeah, definitely. SIL time now. Let's move on to the top league, the SIL Senior. Results from the weekend, Adam.
Okay, so Achilles 1, Henley 6, Bilderston 3, Copplestonians 2, Claydon 6, Leiston St Margaret's 1. That's the one from the Super 6. East Burgolt United 2, Capel Plough 2, Halesworth Town 2, Ransom Sports 3, Hawley United 0, Ipswich Vale Exiles 1. I saw some people predict that Hawley were going to win that, as that hasn't created much noise on Twitter this week. Trimley Red Devils 3, Benall St Mary 2, and Westerfield getting a 3-1 win over Old Newton.
Which was Macca's last game. And for those of you wondering how Benall would react to their manager leaving, look, it's a tough game against Trimley. Trimley are a very good team in this division, but yeah, 3-2 winners there. But yeah, the Hawley United one. Look, you guys have been taking it, you guys have been putting some comments in, which is absolutely fine. It's all in good jest. But, the Hawley... yeah, we had a few people predicting that Hawley were going to win, and that was all the motivation that Ipswich needed to go on and get the winner at that particular game. But yeah, some big results there. A good point away from home for Capel, has to be said, against East Bergholt, who had East Bergholt were impressing a lot of people at the moment. But yeah, Capel Plough getting a very good point away from home there. As you said, the Leyton St Margaret's game was in our Super 6, and I don't think many people had them scoring a goal. Am I right in saying?
If they did have them scoring a goal, it's because they had Claydon scoring 7. Right. But I think we had anything up to 14-0 predicted. Claydon and Henley this season are pretty free scoring. And it was the result that I expected to go that way. Leyton St Margaret's have just got to keep working on it, because it's a big challenge there at the moment, and they're obviously not having a lot of fun results wise, but they can just keep trying.
Shem Ransoms with the result of the weekend. Again, away from home against Halesworth, it's a very impressive one. Very impressive. Good results for Claydon and Henley, says Matthew. Bergholt were 2-0 up in that game, which makes the point even more impressive. Excuse me. So, bottom of the table wise.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. So there are things at the bottom of the table. It's very close. It's very close against a lot of teams from 12th upwards. Only separated by a point between a lot of teams. Obviously, we've got Bilderson, who are a few games behind everybody else as well. So that is the bottom of the table. Top side of it, Claydon and Henley leading the way as things stand, respectively. We've still got East Bergholt unbeaten. Town in 8th place. Obviously, they are quite a few games behind everybody else at the moment. But both them and Ransoms, they've got plenty of games in hand, as have Ipswich Vale Exiles, actually, to be fair to them. 2 games in hand. It's by no means a kind of done league or a 2-horse race, etc. This league is crazy. And we've seen that with some of the results over the past few weeks. So, yeah, big results in there, definitely.
I think Claydon, Henley and Trimley can obviously be very pleased with how their season has started, but there's plenty in the challenging pack.
Yes.
Matthew, can anyone get promoted or not? Well, if they want it, they can go through the ground grading process and all the rest of it. Does anyone want to get promoted? Different question.
Ipswich Vale Exiles, just looking at who is in this league, is the Vale the only club you haven't visited yet? We are playing one of your favourite teams Saturdays, guys. I don't have a favourite team. Let's just put that out there to squish that one.
I do. And you're certainly not playing them on Saturday.
And just to let you know, I've not been to Halesworth. I've not been to yourselves. I've not been to East Bergholt. If we go down to the bottom of the table, I have not been to Capel Plough.
You can tell you've absolutely rattled James, because he's now working out who he's been to and who he isn't. You don't have to justify yourself, James.
Well, I said one of your favourites.
Shem, that is comment of the night. That is incredible.
It's not the club I have a problem with. Certain individuals. We'll leave it there. There's a lot of clubs I still haven't got myself around to. There's one of me, hundreds of you. Yep, I've well and truly taken the bait, and I don't mind. I'm happy to justify myself because you're not the only club that asks me this question. I get this every single week, so I'm happy to answer it.
Just feel thankful he's now devoted about 4 minutes of airtime to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get yourself down. I will get myself around to it, but again, there's only one of me and there's hundreds of you, so there we go. So that is the current league table. Moving on to fixtures for the weekend.
Go on, James. What are you about to say? I thought you were going to...
No, go on. Read
right.
some out, mate.
Okay.
I'm literally going to take two minutes out, so just go through these fixtures, mate. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, he's gone now. I need to read these at a decent pace. So, Bilston Rangers versus East Bergholt United, Capel Plough versus Achilles, Claydon versus Ransom Sports. That's going to probably be quite a well contested game. Henley Athletic versus Westerfield United, Ipswich Vale Exiles versus Old Newton. Answers on Twitter who you think's going to win that one because it's roused some cages. And Leiston St Margaret's have got the challenge of Hellsworth coming to them. I don't know where James has gone. I don't know how long he'll be, and I don't really know how much I can say around this league, if I'm completely honest, because I don't go and watch too much of it. So may the best teams win. Everyone else until next week, I guess. That's pretty much what I've got to say around that one. Goal of the month, Trimley Red Devils. Yeah, we've got it locked and loaded. James told me I just need to remind him of it.
Yeah, the Triple League goal of the month will be played at the end of the show. Do not worry about that.
There we go. Vale Exiles are going to win 5-1, says Dan Barnard. That's a bold prediction. We don't have that.
Vinny, we're going to have another name by the time you get here.
I don't know. The way you keep winding him up, he'll be there next week just because he'll be worrying so much. Ransoms against Claydon 2-2. That's another big prediction. That'll be a tough old game, that one. That's the one I'd like to go and see, I think, if I was to pick.
Not going to Thurston in the near future. No, since I accepted a bribe, I am now banned from going to Thurston. No, I'm only joking. No, I'm waiting until Christmas until we can get some more mince pies. Let's put it that way. Fails are going to win 5-1. I said we'll do it at the end of the show. Do not worry about it.
Answering why it's bold, Vinny, is it saying someone's going to get battered 5-1? That's pretty out there. Mind you, it's not as bad as the 14-0s and stuff that I had to contend with this week in terms of the Super Six. So
yeah, I bet.
let's see what happens. Yeah,
definitely. Div 1 now. Let's look at some of the results from this weekend. So
dodgy ref allocated for Henley v Westerfield. I really hope that's Irv. Brantford Road Old Boys 2, Backton United 0. Stanton 3. March goes on. Grunsburn 0. And Falcons have found their scoring boots, and it's 6-1 against Wenneston. For goodness sake, I did it again. I might just start getting you to phonetically spell it.
Yeah. Dean, I was at the Stanton versus Grunsbury game, and Stanton deserved all 3 points. They will be hard to beat, especially at home. Organised, dedicated, together, work rate a lot. I was very impressed with them. It's they are going great guns this season. They predicted themselves to do quite well, didn't they? They fancied their chances. They knew they had a good team behind them. So yeah, they are going very, very well indeed. But yeah, big shout out to Falcons for getting their first or to getting a win, and a very, very impressive win at that. League table wise, this is how things currently stand. Now down to 10 teams. I think if we lose any more teams,
we're going to need a new graphic.
Well, there's no point me doing a graphic anymore. Let's be honest.
Change the flipping font size.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, league table, top of the table. Stanton going amazingly well. 10 points out of their opening 4 games. We've got a number of teams chasing behind them. We've had obviously the latest club that have gone, which are Southwold. The league table is now adjusted to look as it is. So there we go. Falcons, no bias. Hey, James. Look, I used to play for them and they got rid of me. So if anything, I should probably hate Falcons. Let's put it that way. Why do people think I've got a bias towards certain teams? I don't understand this.
James, they are fishing hard, and you are biting every
I
single
know.
little tiny piece of bait.
I know. I know.
It's just too easy, isn't it? Where are we? Can't lose to many in Division 1. I mean, yeah, Wenniston have only played 3 games, so have Kesgrave. I mean, no one's going to be in a rush to get their games done these days, are they?
Well, Wenniston had their 4th game, which was against Southwold. Actually, Southwold beat them. But obviously, that result's now been taken away. So Falcons, I think they played Southwold as well.
To be honest, if we lose another team out of this league, we may as well change the font to Comic Sans. It's going to be that much of a joke. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Well done, everyone. You have well and truly got me to bite. Well done. So fixtures this weekend is Bacton versus Kesgrave, Grunsborough versus Wenniston, Sporting 87 versus Stanton. That's a brilliant game on paper. I think that could be an absolute belter. Tattingstone versus Bromford Road Old Boys, and Wickham versus Stowe. Falcons, my favourite team. Good luck, Falcons. Up the Falcons. Hope you smash them.
I hope you come back on camera now with a Falcons jersey on.
Yeah. Just like get my old one from when I was like 10 years old that's going to be stupidly small on me. If only you were allowed to keep them back then. But yeah, so those are the fixtures that are coming up this weekend. Div 2, results from this weekend. Adam, read away.
Elmsworth 2, Cockfield United 1, Saxmundham 3, Thurston 0, Somersham 5, Melton 2, Stonham Aspel, goodness me, 2, Ipswich Athletics 6. When will it happen? Ufford 1, Whitnesham Wasps 2, big result for Whitnesham. Wolverstone United 4, Curtin Athletic 1.
Yeah, Wolverstone continuing to go. Finny, if I send you a Vale shirt, will you wear it in next week's show?
He might not. That's the kind of thing
Adam
I end up doing. Yeah, I was going to say, James is too fashion conscious.
Behave yourself. I'm wearing...
It's too vain.
I'm wearing a grey T-shirt from... Oh God, where is it? From Matalan. That's how much
you get yourself changed for a good impression for the show. I don't go that far, mate.
Yeah, this is how much I like Matalan. Like, come on, like no.
Asta.
Oh, dear mate. So yeah, Vin, if you want to send one in to Adam, I'm sure he'll wear it. He's still waiting for his Wisbeach shirt. They said they were going to be sending one through to him in the post, which never came.
Yeah, well, they didn't realise how many X's I need on the front of my shirt and realise I don't stock them.
So. Got one over here, brilliant. Fashion conscious. It's a nice shirt. Yeah, no, send it over to Adam. I'm sure he'll wear it. I'm sure he'll wear it. Your shirt's from Matalan. That's clever. I like that, Ben. That's very clever. Dan, message me afterwards. I will chase that for you, my man. I will chase that for you. But yeah, Somersham, good point. Great win for them at home against Melton. It's a very, very impressive win. Cockfield, that was only their 2nd game of the season for those guys there. They did message me during the week. It was quite a lengthy message, actually, about why they hadn't been able to play certain games. And there was a whole host of reasons. Teams cancelling on them at the last minute, not being able to get teams together. They've had a lot of reasons. They've been wanting to play, but they've had a lot of people letting them down, from what I've been told.
Dan, we've got a graphic for that option. Have you checked Twitter?
Yeah, I have.
You need to load that up.
Shall I bring up on the screen for everybody?
So the Barnard wheel is now going to be a permanent fixture of the show, and it now has its own graphic to introduce it. So cheers, Stu. But yeah, it's now a real thing.
There you go. I absolutely love that.
That's just for you, Dan.
So, as a result of this weekend's fixtures taking place, here is the current league table. Adam's favourite team, Stonham Aspel, still searching for their first point of the season. Cotfield massively behind in terms of a number of games that have been played, but top of the table. It just goes to show how big that win for Somersham was. That now moves them up to second in the table, above the likes of Ufford, Saxmundham, and of course Melton, who they actually beat. And obviously for Melton, they've won 3 out of 3 games prior to going into that weekend, so that's a big result for those guys.
Huge result, isn't it?
But, yeah, and just kind of creates a bit of a, obviously Wolfston have gone very, very well so far. 5 wins out of 5, but just creates that little bit of extra competition, a little bit extra spice for this league, for any promotion spots. Now, obviously, Div 1 depends on who wants to go up. It may be more than 2 teams, but you've got to be in the running to be able to ask to go up to that league. We'll see how obviously we'll talk about that more later on in the season. Fixture wise, Adam, read some of these out for me, mate.
Cockfield are actually playing again, and they're playing Wolverstone. Good luck. Ipswich Athletic versus Ufford Sports, Somersham versus Saxmundham, Stonham Aspel versus Curtin.
Huge game.
It could be the game, boys. It could be the one. Thurston have got Melton, which that's going to be an interesting game. And Witnesham Wasps against Elmswell, which will also be tightly contested, I should imagine.
Witnesham and Elmswell form is very similar to each other if you look at it over the last few games.
But Stonham, I can sniff a Stonham point.
God, don't let the Curtin lads hear you say that. Jesus.
Well, it's possible.
Yeah.
If it's ever going to be possible based on form and how things are going.
Look at that. He's got his predictions in early here, Ben. He's saying
it looks like Morse code to me. What we've got? 3-3.
More chance of Michael Aspel winning. Ben saying 3-3 in the top game. Ipswich is going to be 4-2 against Ufford. He's saying Somersham are going to beat Saxmundham 4-1. Fair enough. Okay. Stonham are going to win 3-1.
Right, you can bid these predictions now. None of that's happening.
Oh, that's mental, Ben. I'll tell you what, Ben. Take a screenshot of this right now, and then we'll have a look at this for next week's show.
Ben, if that's right, and you pull that in, I'll buy you a copy of Football Manager.
There you go.
I'm sure that you'd get better odds if you went to the bookies, but screenshot it. Playing Sudoku.
Oh, Jesus. Right, Div 3 now. Results from the weekend. This league never fails to surprise me. Kesgrave winning 8-0 away from home against Aldborough. Bromford 3, Great Blakenham Checkers 3. Considering how well Great Blakenham have been doing, that's a very good point. A very good point for Bromford. Leyton Youth 3, Ockhold 1, Needham Market Phoenix 1, Hope Church 1, Unity 0, AFC Wanderers 2. Again, big shout out to Kesgrave for getting 8 goals away from home. The high scoring draw between Bromford and Great Blakenham is definitely a result up there as well. That's how this leaves the current league table. We've got 2 teams who are yet to pick up a point so far out of their 5 games. That's Unity and Aldborough. 2 teams at the top on 13 points. We've got Laxfield just behind them. Bromford are doing well. There's a lot of competition this year.
I really want a sort of royal rumble between Swaffham, Wisbeach, Unity, Aldborough, and whatever their name is up the road, Stonham.
Whatever their name is.
Just imagine it. Just let someone have a winning feeling.
Yeah. There we go. Fixtures coming up this weekend. We've got Great Blakenham versus Bardwell, who have only played 2 games so far this season. Hope Church versus Unity. Kesgrave versus Leyston. Laxfield versus Bromford, which that's probably the game of the weekend for me in this division. And Ockhold versus Aldborough. We'll see how those ones go on. Right, that's the results time. Let's get the goal of the month for Trimley underway. We want you guys to let us know A, B, C, or D for these 4 goals that are taking place in the moment. We're going to bring each one up on the screen, and then we want you guys to cast your vote in the comment section right now. These were sent in to us weeks ago, and every week I've forgotten about it, so I do apologize to Trimley. It is entirely my fault. I take responsibility for that. Yep, shake your head, Adam. You are 100% right to do so. So here we go. This is goal A. This is the first one.
Yes, go on! Get in there, Ricardo! Oh, fuck you!
Banger.
I mean, it's a good finish. I was kind of expecting the guy who was doing all of the stepovers to be hitting that guy, to be hitting that. But yeah, so that's the first goal. So that's goal A. Here is. So the first goal was from Alex Bredman, and that was from Nathan Reed. I'm probably edging towards maybe A at the moment, but this is from Ricardo Phillips against Copplestone. Right, so C's winning it so far for me, and then this is the final goal for Ryan Chidlow against Westerfield. I'm going to say
Please
D.
replay D for the notepad slam at the end.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Do you want me to replay it? Do you want me to replay it? Damn, we have a goal D just for Potty. For Adam Potter's reaction. Yeah, I'm gonna say D. My vote's for D.
I'm glad it's D as well, because if you would have voted goal C, that's criminal. No.
You just had to show it again, didn't you? Yeah, sorry about that, Adam. It's at the other Adam's request. So yeah,
I'd watch it a couple more times, Adam. To be honest, like that, I enjoyed that a lot.
So yeah, A, B, C, or D. Get in the comment section now so that the Trimley guys can see it, and they'll announce the goal, the winner over on their social medias and on their Twitter and YouTube account rather. I think it's an overwhelming majority for D. Matchday Marketing Stew saying D. Ben D. Although good build-up play in the second goal. Tony saying D. Maverick. Maverick D. Although B is a close second, great build-up play. Dan saying D. Yeah, Matthew saying D. I think D's the only overwhelming majority.
The Potter pad after the Barnard wheel. Honestly, on the next Barnard wheel, maybe we could raffle off a Potter pad.
Yeah, maybe. So there we go. Right, so that's those are the goals of the month from a Trimley perspective. Right, we're going to round up tonight's show with the Super Six. Adam, talk to me. I'm sure someone posted.
Dan's comment. Ben likes D just because there was some aggression in there. Ben hasn't asked for a fight video for weeks, and we still remember it well.
Yeah, that's true. Right, let's round off tonight's show with the Super Six, mate. Talk to me about what's happened, and then we'll bring up the graphic for the overall
Oh,
league table.
we all did all right this week. So much better than last week. It was more fun to score. Everyone. I think the lowest this week was 3 points, but the mean average was about 4. Irv led the way this week. I'm pleased to announce we've had a big 8 points as the top scorer. But it leaves him 15th. So helped his run rate a little bit. Vinny's back on the scorecard again. I think he was sort of languishing reasonably well in the league, despite only having entered twice, and he entered again this week, but not with as much success as previous. Overall, it was good.
Here is then the overall league table. So, 2 people on 35 points apiece. Very tight at the top there. Good to see I haven't entered for another week. Just didn't bother this week, apparently. So there we go.
Nothing changes, James. Don't worry, mate.
No, it's absolutely pointless me entering in. You might as well just get rid of my scores. It's completely and utterly pointless.
No, I'll add them on there just for you've entered again this week. So
I have. I did that before we clicked live on the show.
I'll add them in there, but it's a very different league to last year.
Yeah.
So no one could catch spreads last year. But people are going well, and we'll have some monthly. The wheel will no doubt come out for the monthly prize next week. Dan, wow, enjoy the wheel up there. We've still got one more week of scoring for this month, and this is the overall score. We've kept the monthly score under wraps.
Yeah.
Irv with the big hit this week, so a really good score.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll post this out on social medias, obviously, throughout the week. But here are the 6 games that we've gone for in this week's Super 6. The survey is being entered into the chat now. Make sure you fill your predictions in. So we've gone with the bottom of the table clash between Stourbridge and Needham Market. Had to be done. Romford versus Sudbury in the Isthmian North. We've got a Vase game in there, which is Wroxham versus God Manchester. We've got Mulbarson versus Goulston in the Furlough Non-Prem. Good luck predicting that one. Norwich CBS versus Holston, and Sporting versus Stanton in SIL Div 1. We've gone for some big games in there.
We're not giving anyone any points like we did last week. No, we've been nice for a week. We'll chuck a Swaffham game in there next week.
Yeah, definitely. So there we go. Get your predictions in before Saturday at 12 o'clock to be considered entered into this week's competition. Again, if you want to sponsor the Super 6, it is still available. Right, one thing before we do make a disappearance on tonight's show, I really thank everyone for joining in and getting involved in tonight's show. I promised the Sounds guys I would give these a bit of a shout out. Let me just enlarge the screen here. Their game, their charity game that they're taking place against Paul's Athletic at Woodbridge. That game is taking place on Friday, the 15th of October. It's a 7:30 kickoff. Obviously, all proceeds go towards their charity for families who are affected by bereavements for babies. So, if you are available on Friday, the 15th of October, I know it's a few weeks away, but put it in your calendars if you can get yourselves down there. Definitely worth having a look at that fixture. Just also a shout out as well. We do just want to give a bit of a mention to the guys who are posting or who are giving their photos to all of the graphics that we are currently doing at the moment. Adam, do you want to just give a few people a shout out for the guys who are taking those photos at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you'll notice, graphics have been completely redone, and all of the ones for the fixtures and the leagues would not be possible without photos that have been provided from Ben Cunningham, Amy Gilson, East Burgold, Hannah Parnell, Ella Bailey, Ambrose Photography, Neil Dady, Steve Screech, and Felix Stowe and Walton United. A lot of the individual photographers in there you will know from having accounts on Twitter, but give a few people a follow on there and look at some of the amazing football work they do, because they are keeping clubs ticking with amazing pictures.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's where we're going to round things off tonight. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being involved in tonight's show. The audio, the numbers, and the first hour or so of this show were really impressive. So thank you to everyone who got involved. Yeah, it's been a really good show. I've struggled my way through it. I've made so many mistakes, but Adam, thank you so much for covering me, my man. It's been much appreciated, and thanks to everybody who's got involved in the comment section as well. Keeps the show ticking over. Again, one final shout out: if you want to help support the show, you can do so. Merchandise is in the description. If you want to help via either Ko-fi or Patreon donations, we had 2 new Patreons coming on board last week, so that was really much appreciated. If you want to help support the show, from £1 a month you can put towards it. If everybody who did that watches that would do that, then I'd be able to go part-time a lot quicker. But look, we appreciate everybody who wants to help the show. Really do. Obviously everything goes back into reinvestment of the channel. You guys see that every single time. Yeah,
big shout out to Anglia Coffee Solutions as well, who are keeping James going through this time of little energy with his own little sponsorship. And I think after we shouted them out last week, the next day we got a picture of somebody, Mark Guttridge, I think it was, drinking coffee from Anglian Coffee Solutions. So I hope we're spreading the good word, because what they do is decent.
They are proper tasty brews, I have to admit that one. Yeah, gotta love the show. Appreciate that, Ben. No worries. Looking forward to seeing you. No worries. Thanks to all those of you said that you can use the photos for the graphic. Yeah, if you want to get your photos sent in, contact us. We'll make sure we put you in contact with Stu from Matchday Marketing. Shem, well done, James, tonight. Battle through it. Yeah, it's just a bit of man flu. I need to rest up as much as I can this week. Just let everybody know, because I know a lot of you will be asking me, there isn't going to be a game during the week because of how I'm feeling. And then this Saturday, I'm actually going to the Stowmarket game, but I'm not recording. I'm actually going with my old man to just have a bit of a catch up, have a few drinks, and just spend some time with him. So there's not going to be any games this Saturday for me. So the next time you'll see anything on the channel will be Monday night when we're doing the live show once again. Because I said I know people are, so I thought I'd just let everybody know well in advance. Well done, James, for keep going. Get well soon. Cheers, really appreciate that. Well done for Adam for carrying James. Yes, his shoulders are aching, I can tell. Matthew, great show once again. And Trevor Collins, pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. Vinny, I thought I'd get it off. Just want to give a shout out to stage. That's where we're going to round it up. Remember, like button, subscribe to the channel, all of the good stuff, and we will see you all very, very soon. Have a good week, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And as I said, I will see you all next Monday. Until next time, as always, adios.
Bye.